Here with Leonard Ellerbe, we're at the end of a week, and the gym's just like a hive of activity today. Can we, what have we seen today? There's like a charity outreach that you've got going on with young kids in the gym, seeing how other of your kids here with like Curmel and Robert Merryweather, how they're training. Can you go through what's been happening in the gym today?
Yeah, we have the kids from Child Haven here in Las Vegas. They're the kids they're underprivileged kids who've been neglected and abused and doesn't have a home. So this is what really is all about, giving back to these kids in the inner city as a whole. And I want our young fighters to be involved in the community, and this is a great start, to be able to motivate these young kids, to give them another alternative, from other than getting in trouble. When they get a chance to see young fighters like Curmel, who's 17, Robert, who's like 18, John Easter, who's 21, Jahan, when they get a chance to see the young fighters like that, it's motivational for them because, again, these are kids that are around the same ages, and to be able to come to the Mayweather Boxing Club and just visualize, what it's like to be in this kind of environment, and hopefully, it motivates them to do something positive and let out their frustrations instead of in the streets and getting in trouble. So this is something very positive.
So I've been over the years. You and I have been talking more and more, and one thing like I get from you is that you're a dad, and the first time we spoke in an interview, you had this big smile on your face because you'd signed 5 young guns, and since then they've been growing. But the youth is really important, and you're passionate about kids, aren't you? And doing outreach like this, and how important it is not just for for you, but for the Mayweather gym and the Mayweather promotions as a brand.
Yes. Floyd's done a phenomenal job with getting this young talent, because obviously he's the face, and it's my job to lead the way, and give them, again, just show them the right things. They can handle the things inside the ring, but I want to work with these kids with a number of different things that people don't get a chance to often do, and that's what's really important with me, because they'll be able to, train hard, work hard, but it's more to being a how can I put this? It's more to it than being a good young man out there in society. We're teaching them the right things. Especially early on. These youngsters make a lot of mistakes. So my role, I'm going to take more of an active role with being involved with these youngsters, because again, someone has to kind of lead them by example. So I'm really excited about what we got.
What do you think when you see someone like Curmel, who's been around Floyd since he's 8 years old, and now he's kind of like a role model? I know he even told me last week that you've got other younger kids coming through, and he's going to be one of those to kind of show them the way, even though he's only 1-0 and 17 himself. And here he is in the gym acting kind of like a role model to these kids at Child Haven as well. And Easter, he's 5-0, 21 years old, and he gave like a really nice speech to those kids in there, saying like, he was once one of them, and trying to really speak to them as and he's still one of them, really, he said at 21.
And that's the great part about being involved with these youngsters, because again, oftentimes boxers come from these disadvantaged backgrounds, and they are able to relate to kids who come from these backgrounds, like in Child Haven, who don't have a home. And just imagine what it's like to not have your parents, when you're a young kid and you're just kind of lost out there in the world. And so these kids are looking for maybe to be adopted, so we are working very closely with them, again, to show them a different light, and kind of take them under our wings.
To your
So
credit.
I'm really excited about the work that we're going to be doing with these young kids.
And on the subject of kids, we've got Curmel in there, mentioned him before. Did you see Leigh Wood's fight in the UK last weekend, his finish over Josh Warrington?
No, I actually saw the highlights of the end, where he came back from behind. That was really good. It was really good. But, man, it'd have been a whole different ball game. He'd have been in there with Curmel. And as crazy as that might sound, Curmel would have stopped him. I'm making a bold statement like that. Curmel would have stopped Leigh Wood.
Do you think Robert Merryweather is up there with the class of Curmel as well? Because from what I saw, over the last few weeks and in there as well, the fluidity he's got and the punch routines, it's like it's second nature to him already at 4-0 and I think 3 knockouts.
He's a tremendous young fighter. I like everything about him. He has a good jab. He has a good hook. He punches well to the body. Got a good right hand. He graduated high school when he was 16 years old. So that just goes to show you what a great job both of his parents have done, where they focused on his education. Meanwhile, they were able to bring him to the gym where he could develop as a young fighter and get better and better. And I'm just really excited what lies ahead for his future. He's a tremendous young fighter. And again, when you talk about a top prospect in boxing, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, for me, there's quite a few you've got here under one roof, but they're all the hottest, baddest young fighters in the world, I think.
Yep. So we're excited about what the future lies ahead for Mayweather Promotions.